Welcome to Fantasy Baseball. It's time to talk about one of the best head-to-head leagues in Yahoo called Field of Dreams. Steve, Field of Dreams is fun.
Field of Dreams is fun. This is my fifth year in it, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. That is correct. Commission looked that up. And so that's been fun, and we've had some interesting matchups and stuff. But we missed last week. So real quick on week 13, I have to bring up I was I think in second place or at the time, but I got beat by Carnival 9 7-2. And the interesting about thing about 2 weeks ago is all top three teams lost. A lumber company was first or second. They lost 6-4 to IP Tigers. And then Mr. Awesome Momos at the time was in top three, and he lost 8-4 to the Braves. So three upsets 2 weeks ago. The rest of the matchups were pretty close. Now we go into last week's matchups. I had to bring up how bad my team played 2 weeks ago. um, this week, past week, you had a very good week, Steve.
Yep, I had I had a decent week and a good week. Um, we missed a couple of these things. I missed one because I got COVID for the second time.
Oh,
And then last week, yeah, that was bad. And then last week, life happened, and I do apologize for that. But
that's okay, even though because your team's playing well, you kept active in the league, and that's why it is one of the best leagues in Yahoo. Everyone's active, and you won 8-1. You beat the IP Tigers.
Yep, 8-1. I had a good week, and it was, as I said a few weeks ago, it's my team always seems to be like, oh, I'm winning 6-3 on Monday, or I'm winning 5-4 on Tuesday, or I'm winning whatever 5-2 on Thursday, and the next thing you know, my 5-2, I look, and on Friday, it's like, what? Now I'm down 2-7. What the hell? How did that happen?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. End of the
My
week. You had beginning of the week, guys.
My team has, yes, my team has been floundering as it goes towards the end of the week on the weekend. But this week, yeah, it was the exact opposite. I went from 5-4, 4-4 to, yeah, I mean, it was like 7-2, and then I finished 8-1-1. So my
Yeah,
team finally had a strong weekend.
absolutely. And listen, you're far back, and we'll talk about the standings. But a couple other weeks like that, you could be back into it. Other big wins this week: Raptor beat the Creek Expos 8-2. Both teams top six. So very interesting there. And then I beat the Baltimore Chop 7-2. Baltimore Chop was fourth when I played them. I had a good week. Middle of the week, we were about even, and then my offense just really turned it on, which was great to see. But yeah, my team's okay. Even though they're playing well, I don't really. I'm always looking for the right combo of players because I don't know if I quite have it. But we'll see how it goes. And other matchups last week were Mr. Awesome's Momo against Juiced Up for Summer. They tied 5-5. Always tough when you go 5-5 because if we look at their breakdown, Momo's beat them 5-4 in stolen bases. So Juiced Up for Summer just one stolen base back, 4-3 in wins. Momo beat him 54 innings. He had less wins to 62 innings for Juiced Up for Summer. So a couple close categories, and Juiced Up for Summer 60 strikeouts and 56 to 56 strikeouts. So that 5-5 could have been 8-2 or something very easily. Very interesting there. We brought up Raptor and Creek Expos. Carnival 9 lost to SoCal Stat Challenge. SoCal Stat Challenge playing really well in the 13th position. He beat him 7-3. Carnival 9 was in the league and when the season started, if I remember. He's now down to the 8th position, but still within reach of the playoffs for sure. Mighty Lolly Geigers lost to Humboldt Crabs 5-4. And Atlanta Braves beat Lumber Company. That was an upset, 6-4. Atlanta Braves now in the ninth spot, Lumber Company number 2.
Yeah, Carnival 9, I mean, they were a top three team for a while, and
Yeah,
then they've had a few losing weeks here just recently. And Lumber Company has been up there for the whole time.
yeah.
Mr. Awesome's Momo's been up there, and you were stalking for a while, and now it looks like you're just gonna take the lead, huh? That's just
Ah,
what you're gonna
for
do?
for now, I'm 2 games up on Lumber Company in first place. Raptors 4 games back. Momo 5 games back. Baltimore Chops 6.5 game backs, and Creek Expos 8.5 games back. Those are your playoff teams, top six right now. My team's playing well. I've made some good pickups. I've made some bad drops. I'm hoping everyone stays healthy. One thing about my team that was really interesting. So I had Bregman, excuse me, Bregman, and he got injured. Steve Bregman got injured.
Yep.
Bregman was playing great. Then I was lucky enough to pick up
Yeah, he
Max
was.
Max Muncy. Right after he got the specs, he was start, and I picked, and Muncy was playing great. Now injured. So
Yeah.
then I picked up Noelvi Marte from the Reds. He's
Y-
now my main third baseman.
Yeah, they're you that's a bummer for you. There has been some guys, on one hand, like I was gonna say, and you've talked about it to where like you like to have flexible roster positions
Yeah,
in a league of this format so that you can just always have three, four, five roster spots that you don't care about picking up and dropping guys on a weekly basis. You're just trying to acquire
stats.
stats,
Yeah,
right? But at some point, especially this deep into the season as you're approaching the All-Star break, when you go out there to grab guys, there's really not a lot of great guys out there. I mean, this is a 14 team league. You really do have to like just try to make the best blind guess you can on who might have a good week for you at any one time.
absolutely. Especially pitching wise. Yeah, it is getting a little harder to pick up guys. It seemed easier as the season was early. Juiced up for summer, only one game back of the playoff position in seventh. Carnival 9, we talked about. Listen, they're only one game back, also pretty much tied with juiced up for summer. So still in a playoff hunt. Atlanta Braves, they're only 2.5 games back. Humboldt Crabs commissioner, he's only what, 4.5, 5 games back. So, and then IP Tigers is probably the farthest one back that you're questioning. But listen, he's only 7.5 games back, and that is nothing. And you're only 8.5 games back. So I really don't think, even up to you, if you keep having an eight win week, you could get back into it. SoCal Stout Challenge and 22 games back, and Muddy Lollygaggers 29.5 games back. They round out the league leaders. But as we bring up every week, and one of the reasons it's the best league is people stay active because you have to stay active, whether you're going to make the playoffs or not. Because you play a team in first place or third place, your matchup is going to determine how many wins and losses they get. Mighty Lollygaggers with 35 moves and SoCal Stat Challenge with 41 moves. Always impressive among the league leaders, so they're active even in the 13th and 14th spot.
Yeah, for sure. And also, we've got 14 weeks under the all done now under the belt. There's only five left.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you are going to make a run
it's now.
and have a couple of good weeks, like if you're going to put together back-to-back 7 and 2 weeks, because that'd be a 10 game increase for you right there in 2 weeks. That's all it takes. But you've only got 5 weeks left to do it. So you kind of got to get going on it.
Absolutely. And I think, position 10, listen, position 10 up for sure, but I think 11 and 12 could, as I said. But move wise, very active 26 by you, 16 by IP Tigers, 47 for the commish, Humboldt Crabs, Atlanta Braves with 30 moves, Carnival 9 with 26, USF for summer 26. Creek Expos, one of the teams that amazes me, only 8 moves this year in 6 spots. Love it. Baltimore Chop with
Yep.
41 moves. Mr. Austin Momo's 34 moves. Raptor with 34. And Lumber Company, we got to bring it up every week, the least amount of moves. 4 moves. He just continues to impress. And I've made, of course, the most moves, 64 moves. And those are the moves going on in the league. Very active league. That's what makes it great. But still, I'm telling you, a lot of teams are still in it.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, eight for sure, nine, 10, let's say 10 teams.
I think so.
10
I have
teams, 10 teams are active for the six playoff spots without a doubt.
absolutely. Couple interesting moves. I picked up Evan Carter, then dropped him, and somebody else picked him up. I picked up Nelson as a pitcher. That was a good move. Baltimore Chop picked up Rogers, T. Rogers, pitcher. That was a great pickup, I believe. He's pitching really well.
Yeah. hmm there were a lot of good moves recently.
Absolutely. A couple moves at the end of the week. Um, Big drop. IP Tigers dropped Lewis, third baseman for the Twins. He just got off the IL. Sheehan picked up by the Tigers. A good picked up. P. Lopez picked up by the Tigers. I think he dropped him later, possibly. Um, Looking real quick. Romano was dropped. I don't know. I wanted to bring that up because he's been picked up and dropped a lot this year.
Yeah, I mean that Phillies bullpen in this format, yeah, I could see like there's no need to hold on to him.
Absolutely. But if you're going for a save at the end of the week or something, right? I mean, it makes sense. He may get a save. He hasn't been pitching well. Not really the saves guy there. I picked up Nueva Marte, like I said. I like that pickup because I needed a third baseman. Other pickups. Oh yeah, Carnival 9 picked up E Perez for $17.
Yeah, that's a bit
Nope,
much.
nope. I disagree because listen, in a league where you're picking up guys for no money, because there are some leagues you got to at least spend $1. Um, I find every year that if I want a guy, I'm just going to bid high and get him because I want him.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm not like critiquing the $17
Of course
bid
not.
in a league that has $0 acquisitions. But I mean, what's the upside of Yuri Perez in the last, over the next 5, 6 weeks? I don't I don't think he's going to be jumping right back and being somebody that's going to be amazing. Maybe I'm
Well,
wrong. Maybe he will, but I'm
well,
not
his
jumping
last
in on
game,
that.
he picked him up for. I think he picked him up before. He pitched 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, no runs, a 0.33 WHIP. And looking at his game log, the game before in 4.1 innings, he 6.23 ERA. The game before, same thing, 5.79 ERA. Game before, inning. So he's just coming back. But his last game was very impressive.
All right.
And he picked him
Yuri
up. He picked
Perez,
him up. He picked
nice.
him up the day after that start. So a guy with a high upside just had his best start of the year.
Yep.
I love spending the money to get him because you're not going to spend all $100 in this league. And then Carter of the Rangers was picked up by the commish, a guy I picked up and dropped. Sometimes I wish I wouldn't have dropped him. I think he's got a high upside average in stolen base wise. Good pick up by the commish. Um, and
He's
then he,
playing he's
yeah,
playing well right now too. He's a bit of a streak, a little hotter than he had been.
yes, he's playing a little while.
Uh,
I think he was injured a little, then he came back.
but very similar, like the guy he dropped, the Minnesota guy, Larnack. I
Yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, they're kind of like similar. It's just a matter of you're riding the hot hand at the moment.
right, except Larnach doesn't get stolen bases, but yes, and Larnach is a guy that will be picked up by another team guaranteed before the end of the year more than once.
Exactly.
Yeah, Kirkering was picked up by the Crabs for $3. Once again, spend him for $3 because he's like, this is the guy getting the Philly saves, and he is one of the two guys getting the Philly saves mostly. Then you picked up Jay Lopez, the pitcher.
That was just I wanted an extra start over the weekend. Grabbed him on Saturday. Hancock, who was somebody I had done that for the week before, but then he got sent back down to AAA. So yeah, that was just me making a couple of pitcher moves that I was lining up. And I grabbed Lopez, and then right after that, I grabbed Brian Bayo from the Sox.
Did they both pitch well for
D-
you?
Bayo is a two-start guy this week,
Okay,
so that's
gotcha.
why I grabbed him
Oh,
there.
nice,
And
nice.
then no, Lopez did not pitch all that great, but it didn't fuck with me.
It didn't fuck with you because you had a big win. Um, Other picks ups, real pick. Uribe was picked up by Momo's, a great relief pitcher to have. Not a save guy necessarily, but great stats. McMahon was picked up by Baltimore Chop. Arenado was dropped to the curb. I think he could get traded soon, possibly by the Cardinals. And then Lauer was picked up today, and Scherzer was dropped. Yeah, always some interesting pickups. A lot of the same guys being picked up and dropped, as we said, in the head-to-head league, because you're looking for stats.
Yeah, McMahon, obviously, he's still kind of young and he's playing in Colorado, so somebody at some point is going to get him on a good run and it's going to pay off. I mean, it's got to happen at some point.
Going back a couple of weeks since we missed out, Soderstrom was picked up for $10 by me. which was like maybe not a great pickup. He's been cold the past month or so. And then I spent $5 on Caballero. I really like Caballero. I mean, not overall, but for a head-to-head league, a guy plays second, third, shortstop, and outfield. And when he does start, yeah, 50-50, he's going to get a stolen base.
Yeah. I mean, well, we were just talking about it, right? I mean, he leads the majors in stolen bases, I
Yeah, in our
believe.
MLB
Right?
portion, absolutely 31 stolen bases, leading the major leagues.
So, and I remember in our rotisserie league last year, I mean, I picked him up and I ended up tying for first, and he probably single-handedly gave me 4 or 5 points in the stolen base category. I mean, he was a major contributor for me. And then it's been similar this year in that league. He was still around there hanging out. Maybe someone had drafted him, maybe they cut him, I forget, but I picked him up and he's probably given me 15 stolen bases, maybe 20.
In the Roto League. Wow, nice. Yeah, I picked him up, and I'm hoping to hold on to him. Now he doesn't start all the time. He's got a little injury right now. I think he's fine. I think he's starting today. But second, third, shortstop, outfield, a perfect head-to-head league guy to fill in. But here's the thing: I lose in stolen bases every week. And do you pick them up so you can? No, I lose by like 3 or 4 stolen bases every week it seems. So maybe he'll help me out there, or maybe it's just a wasted roster spot because I'm never going to win stolen bases. I don't know, but I do like my team right now. They're playing really well, as I said. I got Bregman and Muncy on the IL. I think Bregman's coming back right after the All Star break. I have thin pitching, but good enough because I have people like Hunter Brown and Peralta leading the charge. Who I picked up? I picked up Logan Evans, Seattle man. Is he going to stay up and be in the rotation now?
Um, I mean, I guess until Miller comes back, he could hang around,
Yeah,
right?
I'm, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
But,
I'm hoping he pitches well.
yeah, he's done okay.
I picked
Better
up
than Hancock,
better than
who's
Hancock.
like the better prospect.
Better prospect, yeah, coming into the season, absolutely. I picked up Ryan Nelson. That's been really well for me. So my pitching's iffy, but I think I made enough good pickups. I don't know. I don't know if I can hold on to first place because it's a tough league. Lumber, Raptor, Momo, Baltimore Chop. I mean, they're all right behind me and Creek Expos. So we'll see. Creek just
Well,
had a big win too.
in the past 2 years, right? Because I believe you are the back-to-back champion in
I
this
am.
head-to-head league, right?
I am. Yes.
Did what position did you enter the playoffs in those years? Were you ever first?
I don't remember specifically, but I believe one year I was, but I don't believe I was the other year.
Yeah.
So I'm not positive though. Because I really think if you just make the playoffs and it's who's playing hot, you pick up the right players at the right time this part of the year, and we still got a long way. I mean, 5 weeks is a lot of baseball before the playoffs start. And I'm telling you, Steve, who are you matching up for against this week? You're in it, man.
Well, let's see. I'm 12th and I'm facing the 14th Mighty Lollygaggers. So
Who
yeah, I mean,
who's but they've been playing well lately.
they've yeah, both of us were both lackluster teams that have been competing well lately.
Right. He was 4-5 last week. He did lose the week before, but he's been competing. He's always active. Um, but that's a possible win for you this week. Lollygaggers will give you a tough challenge as he does every week. He's usually like 6'4", 4'5", or something. I'm facing the I faced a Baltimore Chop last week, Creek Expos. So the sixth place team is giving me a run this. So schedule is important too. I mean, teams playing well obviously are going to be a little harder in your matchup, but as we said, it's an active league, so any team can beat any team. We had 3 big upsets of the first, second, and third place teams 2 weeks ago, so anything can happen.
It looks like the big matchup this week would be number 3 Raptor versus number 4 Mr. Awesome's Momo.
Wow, yeah, they
Those are
are.
the only those are the two top teams facing each other.
Wow, that is exciting. Actually, that's going to be a good matchup. Both teams all year playing well, but I'm telling you, Steve, if you win 8-2 this week, you're back in it.
Let's go. LFG.
Listen, I love baseball. I can talk baseball all. This is our last week before the. Actually, this week is this week, and then the All Star break, and then next weekend for fantasy, I believe. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the extended week, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
July 7th through
No,
July 20th.
no,
So this,
no.
yeah,
This week it is.
yeah, week 15 will
Oh,
be
okay,
two
gotcha.
weeks, but it's not quite 2 weeks because there's like four games, 4 days off for the All Star break. So it's basically a 10-day
Right.
week. And so it is a long week. So that'll be interesting. And remember, I have to remember, because I make so many moves, not to use all my moves so early. So I have some left.
Oh, right. So you still can only do the same five moves, even
That
though it's 14 days long.
that's correct. It's 1 week. It's week
Oh,
15. So that is an interesting
yep.
thing. Some big matchups on the long week. That's the head-to-head league. Field of Dreams. I love being part of it. I'm going for my three-peat. I don't know. Maybe I could get lucky. That's Steve Romano. I'm Dan O'Day. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Cheers.
Have a good one.